According to what we learned previously, we now understand that tikkun, as opposed to tohu, is a world in which the spheres are able to coexist. They're able to tolerate each other. They're able to coexist. And as a result of that, they're also able to influence each other, provide room for each other, and even become united with each other. Unlike tohu, which is a world of perfection, and in perfection, there's no tolerance for anything else. So therefore, Chesed of tohu says, I'm the only one that exists, and I'm the only one that could exist, and there's no room for Gevura at all. Whereas within Tikkun, Chesed and Gevura can coexist together and influence each other and grow together. This expresses itself in the Or of Tikkun by the fact that the Or itself is a little bit weaker. And the reason for this is because it's more flexible. It's more flexible, and this allows it to be able to coexist with the other spheres. Like it says in Tainus, that a person should be flexible like a reed and not stiff like the branch of a cedar tree. And we see this most clearly as when we compare seichel to midos, because midos are much stronger. And you know, typically if we look at our emotions, you go to one extreme or you go to another extreme, and it's much more difficult to influence emotions. Whereas seichel is much easier to take into account the opinions of another and to be able to change your mind, especially because with respect to seichel, the only way to truly grasp something is to break it down into its details, to break it down into its limitations. And especially when you're thinking about how an idea manifests itself, you have to really break it down into its parts. And this is the nature, especially of Bina, that in order to grasp a concept, in order to really comprehend it, you need to break it down into its details. And therefore, were the details to change, were the situation to be different, it's possible to understand why the seichel itself changes. And so you may understand a certain concept one way, but you could also have room in your mind why, should the details have changed, should your background or your context or certain other details be different than the way you had originally conceived them, so therefore the seichel too, and so too your opinion will change as a result.